right, Trevon. So let's talk some hoops, man. So we have the Phoenix Suns up next. How do you see them faring for the rest of this season and then going into the playoffs?
Yeah, so Phoenix, we got a 3 game sample of them so far, and it kind of went as expected, especially offensively. You're getting an extremely productive 1-2 punch with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I think even their pairing nickname could be KD, Kevin and Devin, KD. It's kind of cool to me. But you're just getting a really high power offense with them. They're both really good initiators. They're both really good spot up shooters, obviously. And we know that both of their bread and butter is pretty much in the mid range, which they've shown time and time again. I think that Kevin Durant will fit pretty well as he does with pretty much every team. One of the things I think he can really be really good at is he can also be a pretty good playmaker in the pick and roll as the ball handler. So that way Chris Paul won't have to take as much of a load. Devin Booker also. And you've also noticed if you watch the game, Devin Booker has been pretty much wide open plenty of times for a catch and shoot spot up three. And a big reason of that is Kevin Durant is just drawing so much attention whenever the ball is in his hands, mostly in the form of a double team, whether he's coming off a pick and roll, mainly whenever he's posting high post, in that mid range area. Teams are double teaming him. And he quoted it in a post game press conference saying, his job is to draw that second defender. And once he makes that pass, as he put in his words, then that's when basketball starts, meaning everybody's reading and reacting, just playing basketball. It's not a lot of thinking. It's just making the right play. All right, if I have the shot, I'm gonna knock it down. If I don't, I'm gonna make a quick swing to the next guy. And it's a lot of drive and kick type basketball. Just reading and reacting. So I feel like that's the advantage that Kevin Durant is giving to that team is just making it easier on those guys and drawing so much attention. And also when he does have that attention, he still has the ability to score the ball regardless. He's seemingly unbothered whenever he shoots the ball, especially in that mid-range area. We saw it in person live in Charlotte. It looked like he was moving. We talked about it. It looked like he was moving so slow, but he was just getting to his spot. And once he got there and was able to raise up, it's pretty much nothing you can do. Devin Booker, I feel like he's able to operate freely the way that he's used to as far as scoring the ball. I feel like he won't have to make as many playmaking decisions. I mean, obviously he will if he has the ball, but it won't be as much pressure on him. I don't feel like he was that great of a playmaker as far as, making the right read. A lot of times he would try and skip the ball. Let's say if he's on the right wing, try and skip it to that left corner, which would get picked off or intercepted. So that takes a lot of less responsibility out of his hands. And also Chris Paul, a lot of people are saying Chris Paul isn't the same, but I don't feel like Chris Paul has to be. I feel like he can be what he's really good at is being a really good floor general. He may not show up in the box score, but he's going to affect the game as a leader, organize, make sure people are where they need to be. And Okogie is a good on-ball defender as like your initial defender, putting pressure on the ball. I feel like he did a good job on Luka and Kyrie at times. I watched that game over. He picked the ball from Kyrie, which is something you don't see often, and took it and tried to slam it down on somebody. He got fouled and went to the line. I feel like those are a lot of momentum plays you can get from him, and Aiton will be a presence inside. So defensively, they play pretty much team defense. So I mentioned Josh Okogie, but everybody else will have to kind of see a little bit more how they go against more talented offenses as they go.
How I see it is Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have similar styles. They get to very similar spots on the floor. They get their shots around the mid range. And you even spoke to it when we saw them play in Charlotte. They were really under control. They got to their spots and they rose up and knocked the shots down. There's really no rushing them. If they're going to get to their spots, rise up and shoot the basketball. So that's what sticks out to me probably the most uh, with Kevin Durant fitting in with the Suns. I don't think that there has been really much adjustment in terms of getting shots and stuff like that. Because Kevin Durant plays very similar to Devin Booker, or they get their shots around the same spots. And with that being said, they have a lot of offensive responsibility in terms of scoring. So that's kind of a double-edged sword because they put up points quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I think if they are looking to make it deep into the playoffs and win um, playoff games, they're going to have to figure out a good way to get Ayton involved a little more and find offense from other places. Chris Paul hasn't really shot the ball a whole bunch in the games Kevin has played, but um, I think that they can figure it out. I believe in the game against the Dallas Mavericks, DeAndre Ayton didn't shoot more than like 6 or 7 times, something like that. He probably shot less than that, but I feel like they have to find offense from other places in opportune times other than just Kevin Durant and Devin Booker if they want to make it far. They have the talent. They have a lot of talent, a lot of supreme talent on the floor. I don't really worry about their depth as much as I did before. You just mentioned the Kogi, who is a very athletic wing player. You have Torrey Craig, who can play defense, is a really good hustle guy, and Wainwright, who is he's a former football player, real strong guy. He was knocking threes down against Dallas. Um, it's just you just got to find and not saying those guys are going to always be there, they're going to be consistent, you can always depend on them to knock shots down, but I think you have enough guys that can hit timely shots and make timely baskets. um so I think they have a really good shot. My only concern uh is that other than Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, where are you going to consistently find offense, especially over the course of a 7 game series going into the playoffs? And defensively, I'm not really too worried about them. They're not the greatest defense in the world, but they are serviceable. They can play defense, and I believe they can get stops when needed in tough situations. I don't see them as a depleted defensive team.